showed up. And then my sponsor quit, and then my sponsor quit, and my sponsor quit. Do I need to keep going? I'm just going to tell you this. I didn't rise to the top. I crawled to the top. I am here on sheer persistence and a refusal to lose. That's the only way I made it to this company. So after all these years, if you had told me in a years that I would be honored to speak to the most awesome entrepreneurial women in the world in network marketing, I would have thought you were on something. So anything is possible. Tell me, do you believe anything is possible? Phenomenal. Okay, so here's what my topic is actually leadership. And I didn't know anything about leadership. I only knew how to be an attorney. And if I could go back in time, when they asked me to speak on this, I thought, well, if I could go back in time, let's go back in time. Hold on. Okay. If I could go back in time, and it was my first day in the business, then what do I wish I knew? Because I knew nothing. And the person who sponsored me, he knew 90 days more of nothing than me. Do you understand? Like, it was the blind leading the blind. Nobody had any idea what they were doing. So I'm going to take you through 3 phases of leadership today. How you become a leader, how you develop leaders in your team, and then once you get it going on, how in the world do you maintain balance, enjoy yourself, have fun, and have quality of life, especially if you're a mom. So that's what we're going to tackle today. The first things first is that everybody wants to be at the top. Who wants to be at the top? Everyone wants to be at the top, but you have to become a leader. And what's funny is we are not taught anywhere to become leaders or what it takes to be a leader. You know, I have a ridiculously expensive education. Do you know how many courses I took on leadership? This many. You know how many hours I was taught? This many. There wasn't a minute in my entire education that they talked about it. So I'm going to tell you that you need to study it. If you want to be great at anything, you need to study it. So when I wanted to become a lawyer, I had to go to law school. Funny, if I stayed home and watched Law and Order and said being a lawyer looks cool, they weren't going to let me pass the bar exam. Like, you have to study it. So you can read books, you can do all kinds of exciting things to go ahead and be able to learn. But what you want to understand is it's all going to start with your commitment. So there are audios, there are hardback books, there's YouTube, there's podcasts. You don't even have to have a penny. You can learn for free. But the most important thing you can do if you're committed, not interested, there's a difference between interested and committed. Would you agree? If you are committed to becoming a leader, then it has to be something you do every day. You brush your teeth, you shower, you do all these other things, you feed your kids. When do you feed your mind? And so I will tell you how I did it as a person with a busy, busy schedule, because most of you, all women, juggle, right? We all have 20 million things going on. So this will date me a little bit, but you already know I've been in 27 years, so it's not like I'm 5, you know. Anyway, what I'm going to share with you is I used to do what we fondly called the boom box in the bathroom. Now, is anybody old enough to know what a boom box is? Please raise your hand, even if you don't know. Just don't make me feel old, okay? The boom box is before the days of smartphones and all your technology. There was this big clunky thing like this, and you would carry it around, and it was portable audio, so you could play audios in there. So I would take my boombox into my bathroom every morning. Why? Because honestly, it was the only time I ever had any peace and quiet. I would take a shower, blow dry my hair. I'm a little high maintenance. I'd have to put some makeup on. You know, I'm bustling around in there for like 30 minutes. And nobody was calling me for work. It was one of the few quiet times I had. So nowadays, you don't have to have a boombox. They got Bluetooth speakers, your phone, and a million other things. And some of you who are commuting to work, you can use your commute time. But you really should feed your mind every day, because whatever you start your day with mentally and emotionally is what you're going to carry into everyone that you interact with. The other thing I strongly suggest is that you find people that you admire as leaders. And what a better venue than something like this. Everybody saw somebody this weekend that resonated with them. So why did you like them as a leader? Was it the way they talked? Was it the way they walked? Was it their skill set? Was it their courage? Was it their shoes? That happened a couple times. But anyway, there's something that you admired, so you can emulate those things and just go, okay, I want to take that characteristic from this person, that characteristic. Don't be them, but you can draw from everyone you see, and that's how you'll be able to develop yourself. But the real key to network marketing is to build a team. Now, why is it? Well, as an attorney, I will tell you, you do not get paid for recruiting people, right? We're going to make sure everyone understands that. You make money, that would be wrong. You make money based on customers. But years ago, someone said to me, the person with the most customers will make the most money. And then he said, listen carefully, the person with the biggest team will get paid on the most customers. I went, so I need to build a team because I can only get so many customers, but all of us in the room together and all of you out there, if we all went out and got 10 customers, we'd kill it, right? So you want to build a team. And when you build a team, what's really exciting about it is you'll make some of your best friends. It'll blow up your business. Everything about it is great. But building a team requires developing leaders. Your first job is to identify who you are developing, who. And when you do that, you have to look at what, here, I'll move so you can take a picture. You have to look at who you are spending your time with. That's a crucial piece of it. And I always love that old quote you may have heard, and it says, your actions speak so loudly, I can't hear a word you say. Have you ever heard that? And what that means is somebody can tell you, I'm going to tear it up, I'm going to be your best producer, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but they miss the Zooms, you can't find them. And then there's somebody else who's on every Zoom, every phone call, a new product or a new service comes out with your company. They try it right away. There's a conference, they're rearranging their life to show up. That person is telling you, whether they do it verbally or not, hey, I'm the one. And for the many, many years when I struggled, and I mean many years, when I was trying to get to the top of the company and I was stuck, I used to always try and grab the opportunity to talk to people who were at the top of my company. And one of my favorite questions to ask them was, what's the number one mistake that you made that you would go back and correct? 9 out of 10 said spending time, too much time, with the wrong people. And the reason they do it, and the reason so many of us fall into that trap, are 2 common pitfalls. And I'm going to share them so you won't have to do the mistakes that I made. Number 1, you want it more than that person wants it themselves. You will have people join your team and they may have a financial need, or they may have gone through a rough divorce or whatever is going on. And it's the perfect cure. Your company is everything they want: friendship, financial independence. It's all sitting right there. And you can see it's exactly what they need, but they're not showing up yet. They just aren't mentally or emotionally ready to commit. And it doesn't mean you dismiss them. Never dismiss anybody. But it's not where you focus. There's a distinction. And a lot of times people will just want it so badly for that person, or one of your friends or family member joins and you really want them to do well, and it's just not happening. So be kind, be patient, but you're looking for leaders. The other big mistake people make, which is super common, is as you're trying to get promoted and climb the ranks in your company, you may have, most companies have some requirement like so many customers over here, or another person has to get promoted, or whatever the case is, but there's this thing between you and going up. And you look at your organization, you look at your, spreadsheet or back office, however you track your team, and right in the magic spot, there's this person, right? And you're looking at them and they're like, they got everything. They're smart, they have time, they speak well, they got a decent social media. Done. Not done. Because again, that person may not be focused yet. And you keep trying to sprinkle magic network marketing dust on them. Like somehow you're going to say something and they're going to turn into the person you wish was in that spot, but they're just not that person. So do you dismiss them? No. Do you focus on them? No. What do? Go recruit someone else. Easy solution. So these are the things that you'll do that can mess you up. Now, once you know who you're leading, how do you talk to them? Let's take a minute and discuss this. Do you empower or enable your people? Leaders are independent. So if somebody's calling you all the time, when's that call? What's that code for the Zoom? How do I find out about this product or service? There are tools and systems provided by your company, provided by your team. And if you start just out of ease, giving that information to the person, you will become representative support for your organization. And that is not what you are supposed to do. Redirect them. The second thing is a lesson I had to learn, and I know one of my original mentors is watching, so this is for you, my friend. He talked to me about the way I used to talk to people. Now, I'm a lawyer, and they tend not to be the most warm and fuzzy people. No one's like, oh my God, my lawyer's so nice, right? So what I did is I talked to everybody the same way I talked to them when I was at work, and they didn't appreciate it. As a matter of fact, people would dodge my phone call. And he finally looked at me and said, would you stop talking to people like that? You just can't boss people around. He said, this is a volunteer army. They will not like you, they will not respond, and they will quit. He goes, hug them and punch them. I went, what? He said, hug them and punch them. And what he meant was, before you tell somebody what to do, say something nice. Well, that was new for me, but I had to learn. So I said, say something nice, call them up and encourage them, compliment them, anything, and then redirect them. Then they will pick up your phone call if you start that way. And you know what? People actually started to put up with me. It was amazing. So that was one of the rules. And then the other thing I learned that was super helpful is how to communicate with different people. Everybody's not the same. So I have this one leader, and he started with me super young. He's really successful, and he is just a chop, 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 chop guy. What do I mean by that? I don't even think I talk to him very much. Most of the time we text each other, and if we're on the phone, it's 5 minutes flat. Here's what you do, here's what you do, okay, bye. But I have another leader who's super fun and warm and fuzzy and loves people, and I can't call her up and talk to her that way. When I get on the phone with her, we spend a couple minutes real quick, not 20, but a couple minutes connecting, talking about whatever happened that day, something in her team, something funny her husband did, and then we get to business. You have to learn to work with people so that they enjoy the process too. You want your people to develop, but you want your people to enjoy being in the team. And then I'm going to share with you my own personally developed secret, which my team always laughs at, and they roll their eyes in my head when I say it now. But would you like to know a secret technique to cure a butthead? Does anybody know what a butthead is? Now you're thinking like butthead. No, that a butthead in network marketing is somebody who every time you start to coach them, they say but. You know, you start to say something and go, oh, but my people are different. Who's ever heard that, right? Oh, but my job demands this. You've ever heard that? Oh, but my kids, but my spouse, but. And it gets to the point when you go to talk to somebody and they're a butthead that you are looking at them. And before you finish your sentence, you can see the wheels turning and they're cranking out a but. So the minute you close your mouth, they're going to shoot it right out at you. That drives me nuts. So what do? It's the permission technique. Here's how it goes. You want to learn? You say to the person, hey, I just got to ask you a question. If I saw something that I think would create a breakthrough in your business, would you give me permission to be really honest and tell you what I see? In my 27 years, do you know how many people have ever said no to that? Not one. Not one person is going to say no to that. Then their guard goes down, they're open, and now you can talk to them. It's an easy way to do it. So that's how you coach people. So now you are not only becoming a leader, you're leading the right people, you're saying the right things, but now I have to talk to you about the dreaded thing no one ever wants to talk about. And it was the most painful part of my career. So I have to ask you a question really quickly. Are you in this for the long haul? Do you want me to be honest with you? If I've been doing this for coming up on 3 decades, do you want me to tell you the dumbest thing I ever did? Okay, let's roll. Here's what it is. Okay, you ready? I'm going to show you what the dreaded plateau is. Does anyone know what the plateau is? The plateau is when you get freaking stuck and you get on every conference call, you get on every Zoom, you go to every conference, you go ahead and recruit people, you try every new service and product, you do everything you're supposed to do, and you're at the same position. And you start to get frustrated and you start to get depressed. And then you talk to your upline, your coach, you're like, okay, I'm getting on the call, I'm getting on the Zoom, I'm trying every service, I'm at every event, I pique people's interest, I keep promoting the customer stuff, and I'm still stuck. This didn't go on for me. I'm just being really honest. It wasn't weeks. It wasn't months. It was years that I got stuck right before the top of the company. I wanted to scream. I wanted to cry. I wanted to just, I mean, it was horrible. I'm not going to make this cute at all because this ain't cute. We're talking about getting the very top of your company. You will plateau. It's okay. The reason you plateau is there's something you have to learn as a leader to break through. And my mistake, being honest, being very honest, was I looked at my team. And I'm embarrassed to say that I was that kind of person. I was mad at them for not doing more, and mad at them for this, and why aren't they this? But it wasn't me. You get a big fat mirror and you look at yourself. Because anytime you plateau, sweetie, it's me, it's you, it's only a mirror. And there's 3 questions you'll ask yourself to really rock that stupid plateau and get out of it. Number 1 question, did you do your very, 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 very best that day? Not did you do stuff, but did you do your best? Second question, if your mentor followed you all day and watched everything you did, some of you are cringing at the thought of it, right? But if they watched every phone call or not phone call or whatever you did all day long, would they think that you were amazing? Would they be proud of you? Or would they be going, well, no wonder you're stuck. Like, I kind of understand that. And then the third question that will really empower you is this. If everybody in my team did today exactly what I did today, where would my team be? And when you ask those questions, bada boom, bada bing, as we say on the East Coast, bye-bye plateau. You'll break it right away. I don't know why it took me so long, but hey, it all worked out. I did get to the top. Okay, now finally, when you do this and you've got your team building, you want to have balance. You should enjoy being successful in this industry. That's what's so fun about it. You know, in our old professions, my husband doesn't do network marketing, but he became an entrepreneur in another way. We both got out of the corporate world. But when we were in those careers, we had no life at all. You could do whatever you want all day long. You could be with your kids. It's like the most incredible thing ever, but you have to do it the right way. So how do you do this and have balance? I'm going to give you a couple rules, and these are all things that I figured out the hard way. So the first thing is, do not become a therapist. That's easy to do. And I hate to say it, but especially if you have a really large female team, because we all love to talk to each other, right? And you can get on the phone with the intent of talking to somebody about what they did today or what they were going to do, etc. And they launch into 15 minutes of how their job stinks, their spouse is a jerk, their kids driving them crazy, and it just starts to go on. But here's the problem. If you do 4 phone calls like that, and it's 15 minutes per call before you get to business, that's an hour you wasted. And if you do that every day, and then you do that all month, and then you do that all year, that's time you're not relaxing. That's time you're not making money. That's time you're not empowering your team. It's time you're not spending with your kid. It's time you're not shopping for shoes. It's time you could be doing anything else. So you have to just not do that. And if somebody in your team, that's the way they operate. Like I have somebody in my team who every time we get on the phone, she wants to give me all of her problems. So here's what I said really easily. I said, look, I understand that you had a bad day, but I want to stop you for a minute and I'll tell you why. You have all of that going on, but you came to me with a why. You came to me with a dream, right? So what I'm going to do is stop you. And I'm not going to talk about what's not working in your life. I'm going to talk about what we're going to create in your life. So when you come to me, you have to know I stand for you being great. And we're not going to hang on to that. You're just going to keep reliving it when you tell me and get more emotional and more frustrated, do less work. So let's do something else. Do you want to get a customer or do you want to talk to somebody about the opportunity? And I'm telling you, if you do that and you stop somebody a couple times in a row, they just stop doing it with you. It's magic. That's the magic network marketing does. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is sometimes when you're building, like when we first started, I was really bad at this and I wasn't making money. Now, I had a career, fortunately, that paid a lot of money. So it was really annoying my husband because he thought I should be focusing more on that. But if you have no money or you have money, at the end of the day, if you're not bringing in the money and your spouse is not on board, it aggravates the whole situation, right? So you have to have boundaries. When you're on, you're on. When you're off, you're off. If it is date night, do not take your phone and think that your spouse doesn't notice you trying to sneak a text message. Don't do that kind of stuff. If you're having family dinner, you turn your phone over or you leave it at the kitchen counter. When you're with your family, be with your family. And when you're working, work. You know, if you say to your kids, hey, at 7 o'clock until 9 o'clock, you can't come in mommy's office, right? Okay, they got that. But then when you come out, you spend time with them and you're not still on the phone. That is how you'll get your family's respect. And then once the money comes in, they respect it all. So kind of funny. But anyway, all right, so that's another rule. And finally, I want to talk about managing expectations. In most businesses, you will find there is an end of the month crunch. So how many of you have either, you might have a quota, you might have a customer promotion, you might have a promotion for people getting started, but how many of you have stuff that times out some way, shape, or form? How about you all in the virtual world? There we go. Okay. So what happens is for me, I just train my family. The last 48 hours of the month, mom's nuts. And it was pretty easy. I was like, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be on the phone, on Zoom, doing this, doing that, and it's going to be crazy. And we're probably not going to have family dinner and all that other good stuff. But then when the month ends, we have a plan. We might go to a movie. We might go do something. Like I know my son and my husband are out there and the new Guardians of the Galaxy came out. And I was like, I promise as soon as we go back, he's being so nice, you better not have seen it. But anyway, we're supposed to all go see it together. So we make plans around it, but then there's expectations and there's no disappointment. And then finally, what you really need to do is to take care of yourself. This is so important because women tend to put themselves behind everything anyway. And then you slap an entrepreneurial opportunity on top of it, and you find yourself not eating well, not exercising, all of that stuff. I will tell you this, if you lose your health, there's no amount of money in the world that you wouldn't give up to get your health back. So try not to eat horribly and try to exercise. If you're not a gym person, do what I call the walk and talk. The walk and talk allows you to do two things at once. You can do a walk and talk where you go with your family and you just go for a walk around the neighborhood, and that gives you time to spend with your family. Or if you have people that need coaching, but it doesn't involve a presentation or Zoom, you can make that your coaching time. And you can say, hey, I'm going to go for my daily walk at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's my walk and talk. You need coaching, call me tomorrow. And that'll give you a way to do all of this stuff and keep your balance. Remember, you are a walking advertisement. If people look at you and you are burned out, not eating, exhausted, your kids are fighting because you never spend time with them, your spouse is like, she's always on the phone and there's no boundaries. If you do all that stuff and your team sees it, they don't want to be you. So not only are you failing yourself, but you're failing your team as well. So then finally, I want to wrap up with the mom lesson. So I started network marketing before I had a kid. And now my son is 17, so he's grown up. Like I remember going across stage like this when I was pregnant. I mean, the whole thing, this is all he ever knows. But a lot of times I would hear moms and they would say, well, I'm doing this for my kids, but I can't do this, this, and that because of my kids. I'm going to teach you a really freaking powerful thing that you can do that will stop you from making excuses and give you superpowers as a mother. You want to hear it? Incorporate your kids. So I was at this point, and then I figured out the plateau problem, and there was one position left in the company. And back then there was no Zoom. Remember, I've been doing this for a long, long time, right? So there's no Zoom. So I had to go to people's living rooms. I had to jump on airplanes. I had to do all of that to get to the top of my company. And my son was really young then. And I sat down with him and I said to him, look, this would be incredible for our family and really exciting for mommy if I could get to the very top. But I'm going to have to be away from you. And I don't really want to be away from you. It'll just be for a little bit. And I know you don't want me to be away from you either. So what would you really love? What's a reward for you if we sacrifice short term as a family to get to the top? And he said, I want a pet. So My son's going to die when he sees this. He probably doesn't even know I still have it. We made the cat counter. Okay, let me get out of the way so you can see it, the cat counter. And he wanted to get a cat. And so every day when I come home, we would turn around and we would draw in. It doesn't matter what the charts and numbers mean. It's just for my company. But he would get his Crayola out and he would color. And when he got to the top of those three things, it meant that we were going to be at the top of the company and he gets his pet. So we would do it. But here's what's interesting. Some days I would come in and I would say to him, we had such a good day. Get the crayon, get the crayon. I'm like, look how I am. We're going. We're coloring. He's excited. And I'm excited. And it was really cool. Some days I came in and I didn't have anything good to tell him. Accountability, you bet. Transparency and vulnerability as a parent, you bet. And I had to look at him and say, I went out and I worked. Just like the question you got to ask yourself. I'd say to him, but if I'm being honest, I did not do my very, 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 very best. And I have to own that. And I'm sorry. And I let you down. But tomorrow's a new day. And some days the hardest one was that I went out and I did my very, 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 very best. And I produced donut, nothing. That's rough. But what an incredible conversation to have with your kid about delayed gratification, brushing off failure, getting back up, starting all over again. Because you know what our kids are taught? Math, science, history, no character building, nothing. They live in an instant society where they get everything like this. Instagram's too slow for them now. TikTok, flip, 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 flip. Their whole world has no sacrifice, no pain, no suffering, no long-term goal setting. And you as a parent can live it right in front of them. You can teach your children how to be great. I'm going to have a quick mom second before I wrap up. I love my husband. I love my son. My son is in a competitive private school, straight A's, plays sports. He's got incredible compassion and kindness. I am so proud of him. But if I were still working in a law firm, I wouldn't even be involved in who he was. And if I hadn't gotten into this industry, my husband wouldn't have left his industry and he wouldn't be involved. We're at every parent-teacher conference, every game. He just wishes we go out on date night more. He's sick of us. It's amazing. But this is what I want to tell you. Network marketing is special because if you get rid of the silly self-talk about guilt, then you have the chance to be somebody special. You get to be someone for your children where you're teaching them, just as you heard earlier with one of the other speakers, your kids do what they see, not what you say, right? So you have the chance to be a light for people. When you're around, you're not a quitter. I told my son, we don't quit anything. And if you try and quit, I'm going to change your last name and disown you. He'll tell you that's true. And I was like, oh, our last name's Gabriel. I'm like, are you a Gabriel? I'm like, Gabriels don't quit. You finish what you start. So you can be that, but not only for your immediate family, your friends watch you, your community watches you, and you give people the courage to do something that they're scared to do. You give people the courage to not quit when they're struggling. You get to be somebody extraordinary and elevate everyone around you. Or you can quit and make it okay for everyone else to quit. And that's why I love this industry. As a lawyer, I could go do stuff and I'd help a client, but my community would not be impacted because I go to work, not see them all. They wouldn't be involved. I'd come home, game over. So embrace all the glory that this industry gives you. The fun, the friendship, the money, the exotic lifestyle, all of that. But when it's all said and done, you can't take it all with you, but who you become and how you inspire people is what everyone will remember. So I hope this has helped you. Thank you so much for your time. You guys have a great episode.
All right, I think that by now, everybody's brains are fried. Raise your hand if it's kind of like, feels a little fuzzy, because like, it's like so much. It feels like you've been drinking from the fire hose the last 3 days. A little emotion, a little tactics, a little emotion, a little tactics, a lot of emotion, a lot of tactics. So I want to kind of like take this time and start putting it together, because we went through a lot. And it's hard to believe that it's been almost 3 days now. We kind of like coming up to close of our event pretty soon. We're still gonna have amazing content. We're still gonna have Lisa do another training, and we're still gonna have a surprise close that it's gonna be super exciting. And it's gonna be great. But before we do that, like I promised you, my goal is always not to give you just emotion and rah-rah and leave you hanging. My goal is to make sure that we put everything in place, make sure we create a game plan of all the different strategies, all the great ideas that you heard. So on Monday, you actually have an action plan, not just kind of like, yes, this is exciting, feels good, feels great, but tomorrow, you know, welcome back to the reality, and I don't know where to start. So I would like to ask the audience, as well as everybody's on virtual, what are the 3 ahas, if you really think about it? And I know it's kind of a hard task, because there are probably so many. How many of you have like 10 pages of notes? How many of you have 20 pages of notes? Yeah, I can see Kathleen is shaking her head. I see there now. I see Rebecca. I see you guys. How many have 30? Do we have somebody having 30? Wow. We have so many people having 30 pages of notes. So I understand it's a lot. It's a lot to go through, but maybe look through kind of like 2 different categories, because Lisa gave you specific techniques on how to elevate your story, how to make the story more powerful. So maybe we can separate those 2, right? All the trainings that Lisa did and all the network marketing training that you got, and see how we can put a game plan. So first of all, think through, look at your notes and think through different trainers that you heard over the last 3 days, talking about duplication, talking about recruiting, talking about leadership, and see what are the strategies that you picked out from all of them, and pick the top 3. For the last 3 days, what are the top 3? And do the same thing with Lisa's notes. See like, okay, what is it? Me, we, you? What is it? The valley? What are the different techniques that Lisa taught you that you're gonna start implementing? Not the year from now, not a month from now, but tomorrow. If you're flying tomorrow home on the plane, you're gonna start thinking that, okay, next time when I'm gonna be talking to my prospects, I'm gonna implement these skills. Next time, and it might be a little wrinkly, it might be a little bit messy, that's okay, because we know everything comes with practice. We know that we need to try and fail and try and fail, and that's how we're gonna get better. I see Chelsea, exactly, embrace the suck. So it's not gonna be perfect the first time. It's not gonna be perfect the second time either. But with time, with repetition, we're gonna get better. So think about it, like how you're gonna be now talking to your team differently, utilizing these different techniques. Some of you I know have conventions coming up. If you're one of the speakers who is invited to speak on stage, should you go back into your notes? Should you go back into your presentation and rethink it? And maybe instead of just, because I know we love to give our team data, I know we love to educate them as quickly as possible, but maybe we need to create that heartfelt connection first. Maybe we need to show them the high from the valley, establish the belief, establish the confidence, establish your expertise first, then show them that you are not born this way, right? Like every time, I think one of the comparisons for me is like makeup. I don't wake up like this in the morning. That's how I look afterwards, right? So I go in my valley. So when I look in my bottom valley, that's different conversation. So think about it and be okay with it. Be okay to be messy. Be okay with messed up hair. Be okay with messed up look, makeup, whatever it is. Same thing with your story. Same thing. Think about it, it's like, and I understand it's going to take some courage to dig deep right away. I understand it's going to take some, time to try and fail and try again, to touch the thing that is still hurting you, to touch the part that is still raw and fresh and painful. But try, give yourself permission to dig a little bit deeper than you were doing before. Because people want to see who you are. They want to know who is their leader. They want to know who is their sponsor. Because at the end of the day, remember, they bought you. They signed up because of you, not because of your amazing products and services, not because of your great company, because they had a choice to sign up with somebody else. They chose you. Why did they choose you? So same thing with network marketing skills. See what are the top 3, and let's put it in a game plan. And start putting like a little star next to all the different strategies. What are your top 3? Put the star next to the top 3. And I want to make sure that we start creating the game plan and continue to working and continue to refine it, because we cannot do and embrace everything right away and start doing everything. We need to say, it's like, okay, this is my game plan. This is what I'm going to do the first week. This is what I'm going to do the second week. This is what I'm going to do the third week. Between your network marketing skills and different strategies that you heard today or yesterday or the day before, and the same thing with Lisa's stuff. Also, I would like to, and I understand, how many of you feel overwhelmed? Like right now, because of all this 30 pages, 40 pages, 20 pages, whatever you guys have, there's that overwhelm. So I think what helps me more than anything, on top of creating the game plan, on top of kind of like putting things in order, is the accountability. Because especially when you're starting something new, accountability is a big deal. That's why Eric and I have personal trainers. Because yes, I have all the ambition, I have all the desire, and in the morning I'm waking up like, yes, I'm going to work out. And then next day I'm kind of like, yeah, I want to sleep a little longer. And once in a while I text Mindy in the middle of the night, yeah, I didn't sleep all night, let's skip tomorrow. And she still gives me that slack once in a while. But at the same time, I know I have my accountability partner that will help me and push me. And once in a while, when I'm trying to convince myself, because we're so good, how many of you could consider yourself not a seller? Who sucks at selling? Nobody. Okay, we have one, have two, couple. Not true. Can I challenge that belief? Because you are selling me right now that you are not a good salesperson. You are right now in your head have already all the list why you're not good at this and why you are not necessarily a fan of this whole thing. Remember, in every conversation, somebody's buying, somebody's selling. Right now, you are selling me that you do not like that. Right now, you're selling me that you suck at it. Right now, you're selling me whatever your reasoning behind it. And you want me to buy that crap? Sorry, I'm not. I'm not, because here's the thing. When you believe in something, do you believe in your product? Do you believe it's going to help a lot of people? Do you believe that in order for a lot of people to know about your product, you cannot reach them all by yourself? So you need somebody to help you to reach all these people around the world, right? Because everybody around the world needs your product, right? So can you reach everybody around the world by yourself? You need to build a team. So how do you build a team? You need to paint the vision. You need to explain to them why this product is so amazing, or the service is so amazing and so powerful, and how it's going to improve somebody's life. How many people do you think, because of financial opportunity that comes with your product, how many people are going to benefit by making extra $200, $300, $1,000 a month? How many people do you think going to benefit from that? Everyone, right? So you have a gift with your product, with your financial opportunity that comes with that. You have a gift. So if you are not sharing this gift with the world, I think you're selfish. Don't you think so? And sorry for being straight, because like right now, there is no chaser coming. Right now, you got a straight marina, right? Straight shooter. Chaser is going to come later. But here's the thing. It's our job. That's what we do inside of network marketing. We open eyes of the blind people and we help them see. We help them see the products, the service, the opportunities that we have to offer. And if they want to take it, amazing. If they do not want to take it, amazing. That's fine. We are not here to twist anybody's arms. We're not here to convince anybody to do something they do not want to do. We're here to give them red pill, blue pill. Which one you want? Red pill, blue pill. I will be happy to, if you need more time, or if I can answer some of your questions, if I can explain to you better why there's such an amazing solution to a potential problem that you have, I'm happy to do that. But if you don't have that problem, and if you don't want my gift, if you don't see the need in your personal life, that's okay. Because guess what? My life is not going to change, but yours might. And I'm here, and I would feel selfish, irresponsible, like the person who does not like you, if I would not offer you this opportunity, if I would not offer you my product, if I would not offer you my service. You feel the difference? I'm not really selling you, but I am selling you, right? So understanding that in every conversation, somebody's buying, somebody's selling. The way how we do it, that might be different. So what I would like you to do is also to think, what are the different accountability systems that we can create around ourselves so we can go and do what we were so excited in the last 3 days to go and do? What are those 3 stars that you want to implement from the network marketing training? What are the 3 stars that you want to implement from Lisa's training? Who is going to be your running mate? Who is going to be the person who is going to give you the loving kick in the butt when it's necessary? Who is going to be that person that's going to give you that shoulder, the strong shoulder when it's necessary? Who is going to be the person that's going to celebrate you along the way? Who is going to be that person? And sometimes accountability not necessarily comes just with people, right? Accountability comes with money. If you commit your money to something, that's a pretty good accountability. When I committed $500,000 to start my own business, it was a pretty good accountability. It pushed me into action. When you're not committing yourself, when you're not putting yourself on the line, when you're not putting yourself, proclaiming yourself to the world, that's another really good accountability system. Telling the world, it's like, hey, watch me. I'm going to become the most amazing presenter in our company. Watch me at the next convention. Give me this opportunity and watch me shine. I know it probably sucked last time, but give me one more opportunity, one more time. And give yourself permission to jump. Even if you're not ready, give yourself permission to get ready, to prepare, to seek the training, find the coaches. I'm not saying that you need to sign up for the programs that we did or offer or whatever. Find somebody else, find something better. Find a way for you to take your goals, your dreams, and take them to the next level. So also, what we need to do is, we have the plan, we have the strategy, we came up with different accountability systems at the start date, because nothing gonna happen until we launch, right? What is the launch? And I hope it's tomorrow. Even if you're traveling, still work on your plan and make sure that if it's not tomorrow, then it's the after, but not longer than that, because guess what? Every day that's gonna go by, every day the heat of the fire that you experience at this event, farther you're gonna go from the fire, it's gonna, life's gonna get in the way, and you're gonna start, because like, yeah, it was great 3 days, but I have life over here, but I need to do this over there. The distraction gonna come like a train wreck. And you will not even remember a week from now that you were here and so excited and ready to change your life. So don't postpone the launch day. It has to start like immediately. It's better even starts tonight. Some of you heard Eric train before. He loves the emergency calls. He loves the midnight call to the team and says, I came out of this training so on fire. And I got this amazing information. I cannot wait till tomorrow morning for me to share it with you. We need to jump in the call at midnight tonight. Do that. First of all, when your team feels that fire, that energy, that attitude, that urgency coming from you, they're gonna say, what the heck happened with her? Where was she? What they were doing all these 3 days? So they're gonna get curious, they're gonna get interested, they're gonna lean more. Okay, tell me more. I wanna know. And that's the way to re-engage your team sometime. So figure out what are the different strategies that you want to put together. So I want to take next 10 minutes and I want you guys go through your notes, go through your pages and pages and put the stars next to the different strategies that you want to start implementing, because I know we have a lot of leaders in this room, and I know you're already doing a lot, but I can guarantee that there were some little tweaks or some little ideas that you were not implementing that other leaders were sharing that will be beneficial for your organization. So put them in the order. What are they? So everybody on the virtual, we're gonna break you into small groups starting now, as soon as I finish this assignment. So make sure that you communicate. First of all, go through your notes, but also communicate with the group. And I want you guys here in the live audience to do that as well. Communicate, circle up with a small group of people, and share your ahas with them. Share what are the strategies that you want to implement, because it would be interesting to see, because you may picked up on some of the ideas and they may picked up on something else that you maybe didn't notice or you didn't hear it. So share with each other, what were your ahas? What are the strategies that you want to use starting now from Lisa's training and from the network marketing training? So for the virtual audience, let's start it right now. And then when we come back, we're going to share, because I would love to hear what were your breakthrough points or aha moments for both network marketing and storytelling training. So
Hello, Pamela and Victoria. How's it going? I keep getting into Zoom room meetings, and I seem to be the only one on camera and the only one using voice. Can you give me a message in chat? I wonder if I'm doing something wrong, or I mean, what are you experiencing? Anybody there? Do you know how to use the chat? It's down at the bottom. You can click on it and then it lets you type a message. Can you hear me? Okay, so she asked us to talk about implementing. And I am really I know my why and what I want to, what I'm going to be aiming towards, but what I'm going to be doing exactly, I don't know. Taking action and just making a list and writing down some things to try out. And then
So brand building can bring it. I'm going to be going over all my notes and picking out things that make me, some going over and looking for things that give me the ideas of what I can do to implement my game plan and action plan. It's pretty overwhelming, but I believe it's doable. Just try to take some baby steps and step leap or step jump. And one of the big things for me is that I don't tell my story, and I have it written down different times, and I need to just keep doing it and then just tell it and then see where I'm going to go with that, because I've been networking for years and I don't tell my story. And I talk too much at the same time, but I'm going to really give it a whirl. Let's see. Oh, hi, Pamela.
Hi there, I couldn't get mine on for whatever reason. I'm so sorry.
Oh, could you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening to you. Go ahead. I just wanted to let you know I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so thank you. I haven't had anybody to talk to in a lot of the.
I haven't even, it's been empty. Or they were people there, but they wouldn't get on.
Yeah. Yeah, so so you can imagine how much I appreciate this. I really do. Now, are you contactable in the future, like Facebook or, I mean, what?
Yeah, my name is Pamela Bishop.
Okay.
So it's Pamela, and my last name is Bishop. It's Bishop. And the picture that I've got on there, that I've had on my, the white and the black, that's me with the short hair, so you'll know. And I'm in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, neat.
I just remember.
Did you go to the race?
You know what? I had Derby tickets, but I wasn't going to miss this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I just wasn't going to do it. We've been to the Derby a lot. My whole family went for years and years. So, I just chose not to this year.
Yeah, I used to watch the video. It's pretty cool. It's very, very cool. I missing something very special to me too today, but I wasn't going to miss it. Boy, it's just here, and it's been very healing, very good.
We just have to take action.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think that's going to be that hard. Do you? I mean, there's enough stuff to do.
No, I've been in network marketing now. This is my 9th year. And I also, when I got into network marketing, I actually closed our family business at 50 years. I ran the dealerships for 25 years, and I just was at a very broken place because it wasn't my mission. It wasn't, I wasn't giving back like I wanted to. So let's fast forward. I've been in and I work too, and I'm not 50 anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really, really like put the pedal to the metal. This year, I'm going to go ahead and go to the 3rd, level of the company. I'm getting ready to go right into the 2nd one because COVID kind of dropped everything. So I'm rebuilding, and I should complete the 2nd level. We've only got 4 levels in the whole company. So I should complete the 2nd level at the end of the month. And then I'm going to go on to the 3rd level and, build really strong. It'll take me a couple years to get to the other one. But I think my mindset kept me from doing a lot of things. Got a lot of growth to do. I was pretty broken. And I kind of did that later in life, getting well.
Got a nice belly to bounce out of, crawl out of.
Yeah, but I crawled out of it, and I've been out of it. It's a lot. And I think my problem is I multitask so much, and I've just got to start doing it. I'm going to do exactly what they said to do. I'm going to do the videos online. I'm not really going to care who sees it and what they see. I'm going to start doing what's in my heart to attract the people that are meant for me. And I'm praying over that. And that's just what I'm going to do, because my point of it is I know what to do, but I'm not taking action.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, can I come to your video?
Oh, yeah, did you have my number?
No, I don't.
502
Okay.
417
Oh, great.
5739, because it's getting ready to go up. 417 5739, 502-417-5739. Call me
I will.
and we'll chat.
We'll
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah,
And
just
help each
tell
other.
me you want to talk and we'll help each other.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
always show up for you.
Huh?
I said, I'll always show up for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, me too.
You're welcome. It was such a pleasure. Now, what is your name again?
Martha Joe.
Martha Jo. Oh, I
And
like
it-
that. Yeah, I like that.
I live in Northern California, so we're on different times. What time zone are you in?
Coming back, taking their seats. I know there are so many exciting conversations going on, and I want to actually take this conversation so everybody can hear it. So in the virtual audience, who wants to share their ahas or their 3 stars that they want to start doing first thing on Monday? I see Tiffany DeSola, room number 6. Tiffany, who else? Let me see. Susie Nietzsche here, room number 8. Susie is really great. So Susie is gonna be sharing as well. While we're getting them ready in the audience, Mandy wants to share. Yes, someone wants to hear from Mandy. All right, can we have a mic over here, please? Okay, this is probably just as nervous as standing on that stage. I had some really big ahas this weekend, and one of them was yesterday about the valley. And when I stood on that stage and shared my story, I remember thinking before about my story, and I could not, when Lisa talking about the big U, it was like, oh, I can't do that. And I really have been struggling with that since I heard Lisa talk about it yesterday, because I have accomplished a lot, and not even in this industry, but just in my life. And I don't feel like I am worthy to talk about those things. And yes, you're worthy. You got this, baby. And it's really hard because I've played small and I've shrunk so that other people do not feel uncomfortable around me. Really huge for me. And so as I challenged Nayandi to go live for 30 days, I realized, wait a minute, I gotta do the same thing. And I gotta stop playing small and stop hiding and really start owning it, because I've got it in me. Yes, you've got it in you. I love it. Here. Good. All right, so can we please get the microphone on this side?
Hi, my name is Amber, and I want to give everyone here notice that I'm about to tell my story.
Oh, yes, I love that. I love it.
I think with my whole life, I could write a book and a movie and still nobody would believe it. And for some reason, I've always hidden it, and I haven't uncovered why yet. But I know that once I share, so many other people will be so brave and empowered. And if I can do this, anyone can.
I love it. And you definitely worth it. And we're gonna hear your story. So congratulations.
Thank you.
If you are beautiful. The crazy part about story is like, we think that we do not have a story, or our story is not worth telling because like we didn't climb the Mount Everest, we didn't jump off the parachute or the tallest building in the world or whatever, something outrageously crazy. And I heard it one time is like, first of all, very few people can relate to the story of somebody climbing the Mount Everest or somebody flying into space, because only very few people can do that. So yes, even though it's motivating, it's exciting, it's fun to hear stories like this, at the end of the day, I'm not necessarily going to climb the Mount Everest, because good for you, congratulations, but that's not my jam, that's not my thing. But when I hear a story of a single mom who's building the business, juggling the kids, and trying to provide for better future for her children, and at the same time chasing her dream and doing all this crazy stuff, I want to hear that story, because millions and millions of women can relate to that. Same thing when Tom was talking about a man trying to provide for his woman and feeling powerless if he's not, and maybe that's not what she wants, but in his mind, that's his way to show her love. That's his way to show her that she's worthy of his love and he's worthy of her love. So stories like that are so much more powerful and relatable, because so many more people can say, yes, I see myself in that person. Yes, I see myself in you. And I want to learn from that. How did you overcome it? Because it's so common. And I think that the more we give ourselves permission to recognize that there are so many more people just like us that will benefit from the story, and you might not be the prettiest, and you might still be on a journey to you back out of that valley. You still might be just seeing a little bit of the light at the end of the tunnel, but just that glimpse of hope, just that little light, just that belief in yourself, that's already enough, because you're on the way and you're getting out. And just like Mandy said, like when Lisa told me the valley, I was like, oh, Lisa, oh, I don't want to talk about the jets. I don't want to talk about Rolls Royces. I was like, yeah, I do not want to, I love that. Don't get me wrong. I love my lifestyle. I love the life I was able to build with my husband, but it's not like, hey, look at who I am, look at how exciting. But she explained to me, as like, Marina, in order for the people to feel the depth of the valley, in order for you to establish you as a person that they can trust, because you have that expertise, because you came on the other side, you need to show them the big you, right? Then, so not sounding ignorant, not sounding egotistic, then you need to show the small you. You need to show the journey, because I feel like what happens a lot of times is when we think that the success is a straight line to the moon, and then what get confused when people say is like, oh, I failed, and we feel ashamed when on the way to success we make mistakes, we fail, we fall on our face, and we scratch ourselves from the ground. We feel ashamed to say that, because we created the whole kind of like, I don't even know how to call it, but it's just like some common sense that everything gonna work out perfect, and there is nothing that can be wrong with our journey, and it's that manner to share your challenges, your struggles, your fears with everybody else. And we know it's not true. We know we're gonna fail. We know we're gonna make mistakes. That's part of the journey. So I feel like more often we remind people and tell them there is the journey that's gonna come to success. There is that journey, that roadmap that we all need to discover in our way, in our shape, in our pace, and we all have our own path to that. So it's okay to make those mistakes and fail and have all the different challenges that we have, because that makes it more relatable. That makes it more believable. So we're not questioning ourselves. Am I crazy? Am I different? Like, why everybody's so successful and am I not? Because we're not sharing the struggle, we're not sharing the journey, but we need to share it in such a powerful way that it doesn't leave people at the bottom of the valley. We need to help them to come out on the other side. So I want to bring Tiffany and have her share a little bit. Tiffany from the room number 6. Tiffany, what were your ahas, and what were, like, was it from Lisa's training or network marketing training? What are the things that you're going to implement starting tomorrow or tonight?
Oh, man, so I have taken away so much and from everybody. I really appreciate it. You guys are outstanding. And three things that I'm gonna implement are the reason when we talked about doing three things you're gonna do for the 14 days. And so I kind of came up with a schedule on how I'm going to implement advertising and sharing the opportunity and just making engagement posts to connect with people, because that's super important. And I got to figure out how to do that without overexerting myself with everything else in life that I have going on. And then the other one was the me, we, you. I really, really love that that idea on how to connect with people in that manner. So I'm shaking, sorry.
You got it, you got it.
But I want to implement that too, because I feel like that's going to help so many people, because my story is not for me, it's for somebody else.
Yes, your story is for you to live and to share it with everybody else, so it can help millions of people around the world.
Yeah, and that last one is the confidence list. I really got to work on that. That's something that I've dealt with for pretty much all my life. And so I want to start putting positive things on paper and reminding myself that every day.
And you know what builds the confidence? The action, right? Putting things into practice,
Yes.
because those little victories and celebrating those victories, don't make it like don't throw a huge party for a little jump, but still celebrate your way on the success. And once in a while, give yourself other girl. Once in a while, kind of look at yourself in the mirrors, like, and give yourself high five and say, you got this, girl, go Tiffany, go. So this way we can, that's how it's gonna build that little bit of a momentum, and that's how your confidence is gonna start moving forward. So congratulations, and I cannot wait to hear the rest of your story sometime along the line.
Thank you so much.
Susie from room number 8. Susie, what were your number 3 or top 3?
First of all, this has been an amazing experience for me. But the first top 3 is the 3-3-3 method. I really took that and I'm really gonna roll with that. But I also, I'm getting emotional. This storytelling, as a person from domestic abuse to somebody who doesn't have a lot of belief in me or running my business, I have no support from my family, but I know I can do this. And I just know that if I tell my story, that there's other people out there like me, like I've heard from you guys, that I can blow this away. And I'm just excited to tell my story. And I am a warrior. I am the 39th great granddaughter of Ragnar Lothbrok, which is that was the king of Norway, and the Viking that brought the Vikings over to America. I am a warrior like him, and I can do it.
You got this, and the world needs to hear your story, and you have a powerful story to tell. So congratulations for making that decision and following up on it. So congratulations, so proud of you. Ask you all one thing. How many of you enjoyed this event? How many of you enjoyed these 3 days? How many of you wish you had more people at this event? I wish you had more people, and I told you, don't tell me I didn't tell you so, because I told you so. You're gonna wish that you had more people at this event. So we actually, after talking to the team, we decided to make the recording available, and you can purchase the recording. You can purchase the recording, and I'll have my team throw the link on the slide. So you can go to mpw2023.com/replay and get the recording of this amazing event. I know I missed some of the speakers because I was running. Can we Yes, can you guys see that? No, that's not the slide. Can you put the replay slide, please? That's the impact. Those of you who didn't see that one, make sure you join the Impact Influencer. If you're thinking of one of those programs, make sure you join us. We actually wanted to extend the invitation to everybody who is still thinking about it, even though you missed the celebration. We still want to celebrate you, and maybe Lisa and I gonna continue taking pictures, because like I know there were a couple people who couldn't get the picture yesterday, so we're gonna take the pictures later. But this is how you're gonna get the replay. So you can go back and rewatch the entire event. Like I said, I cannot wait to go and rewatch some of your presentations and a lot of Lisa's stuff, because I haven't seen some of that training either. I did not go into depth with her on that either. So I'm excited to immerse myself during the Impact and the Influencer Bootcamp as a student as well, and rewatch her practicing this, because that's the biggest, thing when you when you see a speaker and when you do not necessarily know what they're doing, it's one thing. But now when they taught you how exactly they're doing what they're doing on stage, now when you know these techniques, now you go and rewatch their presentation, you're going to be watching it with different eyes. Because when you first time heard Lisa say this story and that story, and as soon as she taught you this technique, have you started noticing those repeating patterns, that thing that she was using the next session and the session after that, right? So it shows that there is that little core, that little skeleton, that if you know how to put those pieces of the puzzle together, you can become the much more eloquent speaker. And like I said, for me, the most important person, I don't want to be just impressive on stage. I want to be transformational on stage. I want to create the change. I want to create the transformation. I want to create the breakthroughs. That's why I'm learning, excited and terrified, very excited in the process. I'm learning and going and pushing myself out of my comfort zone so I can get better and I can become transformational and not just informational. So get the replay. Here's the link, and we're gonna start the break for next 15 minutes. What time is it now? It's what, quarter to it's 4 o'clock. Yeah, so I'm like, my watch is not showing the right time. So it's 4 o'clock. We're gonna come back in 15 minutes, take a break. All of you watching virtually, do whatever you need to do, grab a little water, grab a little snack, and come back in 15 minutes, because Lisa gonna come back on stage and she's gonna do more exciting information that she wants to share with you. So I know it's kind of like tiring. You had 3 full days. Trust me, our 3 days were a little bit longer. So we cannot wait to see you and celebrate, and we're gonna have a little surprise at the end. So don't go anywhere. Come back in 15 minutes.
Friends, we were more than just friends, but I can find you. Now it's tearing me apart, I feel you for my heart. It's gonna be me. So don't you believe me, try to just don't. Know that I need you. I'll be under the sun if you need to. Wanna know that you are. I'll chase your love till I lose it all. Make the change your mind. Tell me what's right, yes. Dangerous, dangerous. I'm coming. Yes. 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 But I'm
Brother can't make friends. Pray for better days. Now it's 300K on my deck. Do you remember last time? And I'm so white dressed with a back out. Said be careful with a heart because it's fragile. Think about a past make a lash out. See me, I know what's any problem I be there once. We like any one song. Anything, pictures so far. Tonight, I see me backwards, it's like, sitting with the stars like a satellite, AP on my arm and it's shining bright. And I know that people go and go, but it's hard to understand it now. Would you be the raise my soul? The somewhere about the valley. Somewhere it's shining and I'm standing there. It's shining, I'm standing there. Sun is shining, I'm standing there. I'm standing there. Every face in the sun. The view is spinning again. My life's come back days. Collapse as we end control. Around this world and it all goes down. You will find me dancing in the snow. I can be the rest your soul. Somewhere about the ground. Somewhere it's shining. I'm standing there. It's shining. I'm standing there. Sun is shining, I'm standing there. I'm standing there. On humans of pure. See that the sky is not all blue. All I feel is fighting somewhere, somewhere, somewhere. But it's fine, I'm still in the land. And it's fine, I'm still in the land. And I'm still in the land. Oh, Ladies and gentlemen, this is your 2-minute warning. If you're in the studio now, it's a good time to find your seats. If you're in Zoom land, now is a good time to get back to your device, turn on those cameras, show us your pretty faces. Put on some highly brought Australian friends who are deep in the night. Let's get your physiology going. We have 2 more hours. See you in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, I get to do this one more time. Please help me welcome to the stage.
I love it. I love it. I love it from all around the world. I always feel like music is unifying. No matter where you are in the world, it all feels good. Type in chat. How do you feel right now? Type in chat. I want to see. In the audience, they said, great. What else? How else do you feel? Awesome. Excited. You guys got your action steps. Happy, happy. Happy, powerful, empowered, great, bold, beautiful, excited, fantastic, excited, empowering, awesome. Yes, the best is yet to come. Fired up. I love it. Terracited. Selena said, I'm in terracited mode all the time. How many of you are ever terracited and excited and terrified all at once, right? That means we're increasing our capacity. We're growing into something unfamiliar. And all we can do is try, right? So the next woman I'd like to introduce has touched over 80 million people around the world. She's the teacher of the greats in the industry. And something you may not know about her, but she has prevented over 3,750 teen suicides. So welcome back to the stage. The wonderful, the beautiful, my friend, Lisa Nichol.
dance all day, so don't get me started. Oh my God. Hello, hello, hello. Well, as a track runner, they say don't stop until you cross the finish line. So we're not gonna stop until we cross the finish line. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. We're not gonna stop. Type into, oh, they're saying fire, 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 fire. You guys must like blue. So what I love is, you know, so many times I've come to a conference and I've asked myself, okay, so what am I going to take back? What does it look like? And what does it look like for me? I see what it looks like for you, but what does it look like for me? And so I want you to hold on to what this experience means for you. And it doesn't have to mean the same thing for everyone. And what turned on for you? I heard Marina asking, what is that thing? What's your takeaway? What are you going to remember? And it's so important because all you need to do is get your spoonful, get your bowl full, and run with it and use it. So oftentimes, as I was building my career, I would pick up pieces that I wanted to hold on to, and my mindset wasn't quite ready for it, or I thought I should have it sooner than I had it, and I had to just give myself permission to have it when it was supposed to come. I had to give myself permission to fall. I had to give myself permission to do many things wrong before I did a few things right. I had to give myself permission for my journey to not look anything like someone else's journey. I didn't know unconsciously I was so comparing other people to my journey. And I wasn't talking about it, but I was thinking about it. I wasn't writing about it or focused on it outside, but on my head, inside my head, I was focused on it. And no one can do you but you. You're an unrepeatable miracle. You are a unique, unrepeatable miracle. Only one person has your DNA. Only one. Only one person has your fingerprint. Only one. No one can do you. And your best gift that you can give to us is you. Not your version of Lisa Nichols or your version of Marina, but your version of you. And as you saw yesterday, I think that no, the world doesn't want a watered down version of someone else. The world wants a fully actualized version of you. And this entire journey, this entire 3 days has been about your story, your journey. Yes, we threw techniques in and some systems in and some business in, but how do you do it? Yeah, look at Oprah's journey and how she built the empire that no one else was able to build. And people say, well, did you study Oprah? And I say, I didn't. Did you look at Oprah? I said, I didn't look at Oprah, the show. I studied Oprah, the businesswoman. I studied Oprah, the brand. And it all came back to one thing. She mastered doing her. She really, really mastered doing her. And when I met her, it really wasn't any different than the woman on stage. I mean, literally, when she walked out on stage, it was like, hey, y'all, hey, girl. And during the commercial breaks, I couldn't tell when she was talking to me if it was a commercial break or if we were live again. I just couldn't tell. I was like, wow, that's really cool. There wasn't an on. So can you be so transparent? Can you be so authentic? Can you be so brilliant? Can you live inside your light so much that there is no on? It's just you. There is no off. It's just you. I think one of my biggest compliments that I get from people is I say, oh my God, you're the same person. You're the same person. I was like, yeah, it's easier to be her. So much easier to just do me because the whole shtick thing gets old. And so I started this conversation 3 days ago with I just stopped by. I stopped by to stir your soul. I stopped by to make it mildly to moderately to significantly uncomfortable to sit in any form of mediocrity. I stopped by to see who are you willing to become if you stop taking score of what you may have thought you did wrong. And what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And what's non-negotiable? I stopped by to invite you to activate the story in you that needs to be told. I stopped by for you to become non-negotiable, that it has to be told. And it has to be told by you. And I stopped by to create some urgency that it has to be told right now. Like there is no later. There's a bold assumption that you got forever. That's a bold assumption. And God willing, we got many, many years, but I'm not going to act as if I know that for sure. When I go to bed tonight, I go to bed going, in my faith, you know, they say when you get to the end of the life, you want to hear, job well done, my child. Well, I'm a little anxious. I want to get to the end of my day. And every day I want to hear, job well done, my child. And I've been saying that for about 20 years. I promise you, I'm impatient. I don't want to wait till the right day. Job well done, my child. So when you lay your head down tonight, did you play full out? Did you love full out? Are you willing? You guys want me to take my earring off? This is a tradition now. So it's going to require us to do some things. You have navigated some things, and I'm going to talk about wanting for you and wanting for yourself things in the timeline that's healthy for you. See, I wanted to be on the Oprah show for years. Anybody else? I'm supposed to be on Oprah. I see your hands up. I'm supposed to be on Oprah. And while I went there in 2007, I thought about it since 1997. I'll be on Oprah. And I had this thing in my head. I said, when I go to Oprah, I'm going to be on Oprah and I'm going to meet Oprah. She's going to be cool. And then, well, let me just show you. Let's imagine that this is Oprah's cream leather couch. Y'all remember the cream leather couch, right? Well, I had this vision. I don't know why this was important to me. It makes no sense. Please, when I tell you, don't judge me. Please don't judge me. If you do, don't tell me about it. So I envisioned that I'm sitting on Oprah. Hey, girl, how you doing? How's Stepman? How's the dogs? Okay. And when Oprah looks away, I lean over, don't judge me, and I smell her cream leather couch. I know it makes no sense. I don't know why I have this vision. I guess I knew Oprah would have the best leather ever. So for years, I would tell the story of being on Oprah. I said, I'm going to be on Oprah. I'm going to be on Oprah. And I'm going to smell her cream leather couch. I would tell the story about smelling the couch like I would tell the story about talking to Oprah. We're going to have a good time. We're going to be amazing. And I'm going to smell her cream leather couch. People go, what? It became so normal to me. So I get to Oprah in 2007. And I'm super excited. I get the call in like late January, and they're like, you're going to be on in March. I'm like, yes, this is amazing. The time has come. I'm going to be on Oprah. I'm going to be on Oprah. I'm going to smell her cream leather couch. Yes. That was as important as seeing Oprah. I don't know why to this day. I don't know why I made it a big deal. I guess I felt like I would have it in my olfactory glands and it would all be real. So I get to Oprah and I come out on stage. Anybody see me on Oprah? What did you see on stage? No cream leather couch. I got to Oprah and there's 5 stools on stage. I was so upset. I was like, what? Like, I'm even asking the stage manager, where's your storage room? Now I'm fixated. I gotta see this. They said, oh, this is Oprah. We have a storage warehouse around the corner. I was like, is the couch over there? They're like, yeah, couch is over there. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm on Oprah. Now I'm saying this for someone. And if this is you, I want you to self-identify. I'm on Oprah. I have a very big moment in my career. And everyone, when I get off Oprah, they say, how was Oprah? How was Oprah? Of course, that was the question. Well, how was Oprah? I said, it was good. But I mean, I just really wanted to smell the couch. It sounds stupid to say, right? Well, how was Oprah? It was good. But so fast forward about 6 months, I get a call from the studios and they said, Miss Nichols, we really love your brand and we'd like to talk to you about doing a show. I said, okay, what's the name of the show? They said, The Lisa Nichols Show. I said, I like that name. They said, can you come in? I said, sure. So I go into Warner Brothers, we sign a deal, and they said, well, just tell us a little bit about what you like. I said, oh, well, I like orange and I like yellows and I like soft curves versus the hard curves and I like big pillows and I like all this stuff. And they said, okay, great. Well, we want to do some things and we want you to come back. And I said, okay, but I have to take my son to South Africa. We're going on a missionary trip for a month. And so we can talk when I get back. They were like, sure. I go to South Africa for a month for my birthday. They somehow find where I am, send me big bouquets of flowers over in South Africa. I get back from South Africa. They said, we'd like for you to come in and talk to us. I said, sure. I come in, I walk in the room, and there's this beautiful round stage, these beautiful pillows all around the base of the stage, orange and yellows and browns and rust. And there's all this amazing stuff. And on the stage, a cream leather couch. I start walking toward the stage and I see people saying, Miss Nichols, do you like the pillows? Miss Nichols, do you like the font? Miss Nichols, do you like the costume? Excuse me. Excuse me. There. And I smell without having to sneak. And something hit me. In that moment, I felt in my spirit that I needed to apologize to God. I'm not imposing my belief system on you. But I said, God, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to sit on Oprah's couch. I wanted to smell Oprah's couch. I wanted to know what Oprah's couch smelled like. And some of you can relate to this, where you're looking at someone else's and they're the image of success. And in that moment, I felt in my spirit, God spoke back to me and said, I know you've been wanting to sit on Oprah's couch, but I've been trying to give you your own couch. You get a couch and you get a couch and you get a couch. You get a couch and you get a couch. You get a couch, you get a couch, and you get a couch, and your couch won't be cream, and it won't be leather. It will be your couch. No one can take your couch from you. It took that moment. And I said, man, I so didn't even connect with the fact that there was my couch being built for me. Just mine. And it's not going to look like hers because it's mine. And what's out there for you that's not going to look like anybody else's? It's yours. And every time you look to the left and every time you look to the right, you get distracted on what's in front of you trying to present itself to you. Whether it be a relationship, whether it be a business opportunity, whether it be a friendship, whether it be a personal discovery, that there's so much for you. And it's only for you. But like I said before, it's not going to be delivered by Amazon Prime. You got to go get it. And on some days, you got to fight for it. You got to pray for it. You got to get up for it. You got to get hungry for it. You just got to be committed for it. It's not going to be easy, but nothing you've ever really, really valued came that easy. And you will have to pay for it. But when you pay for it, you pay attention to it. Whether you pay for it in time, energy, prayer, or money, or deed, all of the above, be willing to pay for it. Because when you're not willing to pay for your breakthrough, what you're saying is, I'm not worth the investment. Pay for it. Write your name, write yourself a check. When Jelani and I were transforming our lives, I knew I had to buy my own freedom. I don't know if anyone's ever been there. Raise your hand if you've been there, where you go, I gotta buy my freedom. I don't know how much it costs. And whether it's time freedom, money freedom, space freedom, relationship freedom, I knew I needed to do that. I was working for LA Unified School District. I remember it like it were yesterday. I didn't fit in it and it didn't fit with me, but it was a job. And I was a single mom. And my son's father had been in prison for 2 years, and I didn't see any light of him coming out anytime soon. And even if he did, I can't guarantee that he was going to help me with this. I needed to drastically rescue myself. I needed to drastically give myself a chance. And so here I am at LA Unified School District, and I keep hearing this thing called write yourself a check. Like, what does that mean, write yourself a check? I can't write myself a check. Like, I'm writing the light man a check. I'm writing the gas man a check. I didn't write me a check, but I kept hearing it. And I thought, well, what if? So I pulled out my checkbook and I wrote a check for $110 in 1997. Jelani was 3 years old. And I remember so scared, I put it in the envelope and I mailed it to the bank. See, I didn't want to go into the bank because I didn't want to find out my bank balance, because I love my mom. I love my mom dearly, but my mom taught me 2 things. Money burns your pocket. And as much as you know you have, you're going to spend. Because that's how my life was. We always had and then we didn't have. Mom would get it and then she'd spend it as if it burned her hands. She said, this money is burning my pocket, Lisa. Let's go shopping. So I didn't want to know how much money I had. So the next month, I wrote myself another check. But in the memo line, I wrote funding my dream. I didn't even quite know what the dream was, but I knew I had one. And I knew it was my birthright to have one. I wasn't clear on the dream, but I know I had one. And I said, every time I write myself a check, I'm going to write a check for 5% more. Here's the problem. I got a D in math. And I never, ever quite knew what 5% was. So I just guessed. I guessed. And I'd write a bigger check. About $110 and $125. Have no idea if that was right. And then $180. And every 2 weeks, I'd write myself a check. And in the memo line, I put funding my dream. And I put it in the envelope and I mail it. And when I got the statements, I wouldn't open the statement. I just sit it on my desk. Every 2 weeks, 52 times, and then 110 times. I wrote it every 2 weeks for 3.5 years. I had a stack of bank balances. I never opened them. Every time I wrote the check, funding my dream, funding my dream. And because I wanted to write a bigger check each time, I sold my Nissan Altima. And I got an old Ford Explorer. I moved out of my 3-bedroom house that I was in, and I moved in with a roommate. She smoked, and I put towels at the base of the door so the smoke wouldn't come in our room. I went from my son having his own bedroom to us sleeping in the same bed. See, I was willing to allow my conviction and my convenience to not live on the same block. I was willing to pay. I was willing to scale down. I stopped going out for dinner. I stopped getting my hair done. I stopped getting my nails done. People thought I went natural as a plan. It was a necessity because I had to save more money to write a bigger check. Where I put in the memo line, what? Funding my dream. And I wasn't even clear what the dream was. 3.5 years later, I walk into the bank in Hawthorne, off Hawthorne Boulevard. And I tell the lady who I'd never seen before in a bank that I'd never walked into before, because for 3.5 years, I was mailing my check in. I never wanted to know my bank balance, so I never went to the bank. I said, "Hi, ma'am. My name is Lisa Nichols." And she said, "Oh my God, you're the funding my dream lady." See, what I didn't know was that almost every one of these tellers had opened my check at some point. And all of a sudden, all these tellers came running around. "Oh my God, this is the funding my dream lady. We wondered what you would look like. We wondered how old you were." "We wondered what nationality you were. Oh, we didn't know you were a young Black woman. This is cool." It's like, what's going on? Bank manager came around. They said, we've all been wondering. We got one question for you. What's your dream? I said, I'm not super clear yet, but I know it includes inspiring people. I said, I was just coming by to see, wait, pause, let me go back. In order to save money, I stopped taking my son Jelani to McDonald's. That was like horrific torture to my child. He said, "Mommy, can we please go to McDonald's?" I said, "No, boy, we don't eat that McDonald's. Mama can make you a better Big Mac than Ronald McDonald." He goes, "You cannot make a Big Mac. You have no secret sauce." He was so mad at me. He was so mad. So then we see the golden arches and I turn real fast. He goes, "Mommy, I know it's that way." Because now he's 3, 4, and 5, right? And 6. He's smart. He knows the street. And my mother would get him on the weekends and they go straight to McDonald's. But he would not get McDonald's for 3.5 years. Call it torture if you want to. But I was committed to funding our dream. And so he was tortured. "Mommy, let's just go to McDonald's. Mommy, no, we're not going to McDonald's. I'm on a plan." So now my son he's with me. He's 6 years old now. And we go and I'm like, "I just want to know my bank balance." And they were like, "Well, what's your dream?" I was like, "I'm not sure, but I know it's going to cost. I'm willing to pay for my own dream. I'm willing to pay. I don't know what it is, but I know it's going to cost and I'm worth it." How much did I save? Now, mind you, I'm only 2.5 years off government assistance. So life is skinny and a lot of sacrifices. They slide a piece of paper under the thick glass. I'm in the LA area, y'all. They slide a piece of paper under the thick glass and I look at the paper and I said, "I'm sorry. You must have the wrong person, the wrong Lisa Nichols, because no one in my family has that much money in their account." See, we're the family that when one person was going to buy a house, we locked and loaded. My family is very tight. When one person was going to buy a house and you have to show the bank balance in the bank for 3 months, we would all collectively put our money in one person's bank and let it sit there. We got families who do that and let it sit there for 90 days until they got approved and then give me back my money. But that's how my whole family owns houses, and that's how we all were able to buy the houses. We just moved each other's money around so we can qualify. And so I had never had that much money in my own account. And so I gave it back to her. I said, "You must have a different Lisa Nichols. Just correct it now because you'll be coming after me for the money anyway." And the bank manager started crying. And she said, "Miss Nichols, it's not a mistake. You have been dutiful in investing in yourself. We've watched you. You've inspired all of us." She slid the paper back under and she said, "You have $62,500 to fund the dream when you get cleared." And And that was when Motivating the Masses was born. Literally, I left there and I went to Norwalk and named the company. Before I left the bank, though, my son looks up at me and he says, "Mama, can we go to McDonald's now?" And we had a feast at McDonald's. And so I asked him, what's waiting on you to become non-negotiable? See, I know that there have been times when you may have been knocked down. And Joe, can we play that song about by Whitney? And I know there are times when you thought, and there'll still be times when you wonder, how can I make it through this? But you're so built. You're so built for such a time as this. So just take heed to the word. Lost touch with my soul. Sometimes we go through things. I have nowhere to turn. Sometimes we feel a little lost. Lost sight of my. Sometimes we may lose sight of our dreams. And you know how we get back on track. I thought I'd never make it through. We've all been there when you didn't know if you could make it through. I had no hope to hold on to. Sometimes you feel a little hope. You might think you're great, but guess what? I didn't know my own strength. You don't know your own strength. You get through everything. You're built to last. You don't know somebody to drop you out. You're going to say a lot. You're going to pick yourself back up. You will always up ahead of you. You are built to break. You just got to know. Can you turn it on for me, please? Yeah. Open my. You get there. Check yourself. You don't forget what you made up. But I did not trust you. I didn't know. I was not going to win. I just stopped by. I stopped by to make it difficult to sit down on the woman, the man you're becoming. Because somebody's waiting on you. You're someone else's liberation. Little Lisa, oh, she got tired. Little Lisa, she got scared. Little Lisa felt so freaking alone, an alien, just a Child, this is a lot of things. Normal ain't one. And long before you stand and I stood in my power, I questioned it. Long before I stood in my greatness and my uniqueness, I wondered, why me? Long before I can own it, I wanted to disown it. Long before. But as long as you know, nothing gets to break you. You keep coming here. You keep doing this. You keep making it necessary. It's not an option. For those of you who are still wondering, should I hook my caboose to the train unless you got a better train? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? It's not going to be convenient because it has to be your conviction. So I just stopped by. I stopped by to disrupt any form of mediocrity in you. Is it working? I stopped by to invite you to evict anything you've been tolerating and make space for the woman, the man you're becoming. I stopped by for you to recognize any thinking that you've outgrown. It doesn't fit anymore. It's like trying to put a size 9 foot in a size 5 shoe. It's just painful. And no more suffering in silence. No more suffering in silence. I want to out myself every chance I get. I want to out myself. Please don't leave me to the smallest version of me. Please require that I become. Please don't let me off the hook. Greatest thing you can do for each other is keep the bar high. Don't lower the bar for me. Teach me how to jump. So I just stopped by. I stopped by as your sister friend. I stopped by to be the container for you to be brilliant and amazing and phenomenal, smart, and still in discovery, and still figuring it out, and making critical decisions. I stopped by to be that container with you and for you. But I hope that what you make sure you don't do and you don't allow yourself to do is shrink back into the person that walked into this conference, either from your living room or from that door. The person that came in the room is expanded. Forever expanded. And you got to watch out, because when you leave, no one else was here with you. As a matter of fact, they're not happy that you've been putting all this time into those weird people. And so there's going to be something that immediately challenges you to shrink when you leave. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. And here's what I recommend. Don't tell them all the growing you've been doing, because no one wants to be outgrown. No one wants to be outgrown. Expand your capacity to say, how can I serve you? How can I serve you? What is it that you need right now? Meet their needs, because you have the capacity. You're in overflow. We've been pouring into you for 3 days. You are in overflow, right? And so spill on over to them and fill their cup up. Take a deep breath. But don't forget what's at stake. Don't forget what's at stake. Treat it with urgency, because somebody's watching you and you don't even recognize that they're watching. She might be 4, he might be 14 with an attitude, nasty attitude, but they're still watching. They're watching the way, not just the way you bounce around in success, but the way you navigate failure and disappointment. They're not watching what you put on social media that's filtered. They're watching how grateful you get up in the morning. They're watching everything. And you give hope. You give hope by the way you keep moving, even when moving doesn't feel comfortable. You don't give hope when moving is easy. It doesn't happen. Hope is when it's hard. It's why we always watch the Rocky movie, Rocky 19. We know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a fight. We know what's gonna happen. Rocky gonna get bloody. He gonna be down, and we still go, Rocky, get up. And he gets up and he falls. And we say what? Rocky, get up. Because we all love the hope. We want the get up. The best part of the Rocky movie is not the standing. It's that moment that the director spent hours making sure the blood is in the right place, the sound is right, the music is right. Listen to it. And all of a sudden, you get up, because in that moment, we unconsciously begin to believe if Rocky can get up, so can I. Right? You are your Rocky. And somebody's watching you. You're the movie that watches you. Get up after that divorce. Get up after that death. Get up after the weight gain. Get up after losing the money. Get up after being betrayed. Get up. When you get up, you show me that I can get up. It's an every day, all day. Rocky's not a movie. Rocky's the indication of your life, sis. Rocky's the indication of your life. So I just stopped by to remind you, you're in the right place. And you were built for this. You were built for this. Be bold. Be outrageous. Be willing to do something you've never done before, so you can see someone you've never seen before, so you can become the woman, the man you've always known yourself to be. You know who you are. You just get nervous to meet them. You know, I finally got tired of trying to outrun who I am. I was always busy at little these things. So stop running. Yeah. I want to read to you something. I was honored enough to be asked when Martin Luther King's monument was being unveiled in DC, I was honored enough to be asked to deliver the keynote message at the unveiling. And I was asked to deliver the keynote message that Dr. King would deliver. No, I can't do that. But if you're interested, I can deliver the one that a little chocolate girl who's benefited a lot from the life Dr. King lived would. I wasn't there in 1960 when students all over the South sat at lunch counters demanding equal rights. And I wasn't there in 1962 when men and women in Albany straightened their backs up, recognizing that a man can't ride your back unless it's bent. And I wasn't there in 1963 when a group of people aroused the nation and brought into being the Civil Rights Bill and movement. I wasn't there. It was his dream, but it's my reality. I wasn't there on August 28th in 1963 when Dr. King shared a dream that he had about a day when little Black girls and little Black boys would live in unity with little white boys and little white girls as sisters and brothers. I wasn't there. That was his dream, but it's now my reality. See, I wasn't even born until 3 years after Dr. King shared his great dream with the nation. I didn't have to endure separate drinking fountains, separate bathrooms, or eat in the back of restaurants because of the color of my skin. I've never had to participate in a boycott or a sit-in for my freedom. I had no living room civil rights meetings, no water hose knocking me down, no biting dogs tearing at my legs, nor any cocktail bombs being thrown into my home. in my quest for equal rights. And that was his dream, that this be my reality. You see, I'm the beneficiary of a dream spoken for, fought for, suffered for, prayed for, and died for. And the journey is still underway. We still have so much work that we have to do. Yes, we own homes now, we build businesses, experience fame, and coexist together as brothers and sisters because of the dream part one. And now it's time for the dream part two. Recognizing that as Blacks, whites, Latinos, Asians, Jews, and Gentiles, Muslims, Protestants, and Catholics, and though there's so many barriers that we have broken through, we still have hungry mothers, homeless fathers, and undereducated children. So now, my friends, it's time for the dream part two. In this dream, there's no playing small, no sleeping on the job, because like me, there's an unborn child somewhere that's counting on you. This dream requires you to wake up, stand up, speak up, hurry up, catch up, stay prayed up, and oh yeah, you definitely gonna have to show up. In this dream, there is none of that. Now, in your own brilliance, do whatever it is that you need to do. Because Dr. King handled the dream part one. And now it's up to you and I to handle. Say it with me. The dream part two. When I wrote that piece, I wrote a piece that I wanted to connect humanity to one dream. And I believe that we have the ability with our influence to make that dream a reality. I want to invite back out my sister. I'm gonna stand in the center to see what side of the stage she comes from. I don't get to play with people as often as I would like. I love you. And you and I, we represent that dream part one. Because I'm the little Black girl. You're the little white girl in his dream. Thank God we have a recap video right now. So
So we can fix the makeup?
yes. So we want to just give you a little snapshot of what felt like a sacred experience for us. And we hope that it had some sacred moments for you. And we hope that it was more than just content, that there was something almost unexplainable happening. So please enjoy.
It's like a merry-go-round. Going in circles, trying to get to where you are. Everybody's thinking of you. Everything in the same old place, just faces in crowd. Moving, baby, you might say, but you gotta get out. The same. Baby, you might your face, but you gotta get up. Yeah.
What a great weekend, huh?
Yeah. A good time, it's a good way to spend your time. Yes. Yeah. Feels so excited. I was reading some of the comments while the video was playing. It was just so beautiful. Thank you for your beautiful comments. Thank you for writing in the comments. I saw things like so powerful to watch women across cultural lines help to unite us. And so many people said things like, this has been truly transformational. I'm not the same. Someone wrote, I'll no longer be a wallflower. I'm going to be a sunflower. You know, people are writing, we are one. Like, it's just so beautiful. And we are the flicker that creates the flame.
You know, I'm gonna go off the script that we didn't have.
I was gonna say, what script?
You know what I just realized, because first of all, this entrance was so totally emotional and unexpected for me. But remember the first time I met you, when you came into the studio to the first GoPro? Remember what else you were doing?
I do. Wow. So we met around when the George Floyd experience that's been happening for years became more public than normal and got more attention. And during that experience, I was, I told you on day one, I had to really work and process to be responsible with my voice, because I felt every emotion everyone else felt. I felt disgust, I felt fear, I felt anger. And the best thing that I could do was with a very close friend of mine, I call him my brother from another mother, who happens to be a white male. We decided to create a movie around courageous conversations where we were unedited, but we committed to leave each other's dignity intact. And we thought it would just be like a Zoom thing, but it ended up being a Hollywood directed movie, 16-minute movie. And we did the whole movie in spoken word. And it's called Let's Grow. And it's online. And the premiere debut of Let's Grow was the day she wanted me to do the keynote. And I did the movie not for Black and brown people. I did it for my white friends who I knew were good people, but they didn't know how to get in the conversation. And they were asking me, Lisa, can you help us get in the conversation responsibly so we understand it? So it was my contribution to my friends that I love, that I knew they needed to have their voices heard, but in a way that would help them. And so it was a powerful, so it invited hundreds and thousands of people to this premiere. And they all RSVP'd and was coming to this premiere. Well, the premiere was on the day that I was scheduled to be on stage.
Yeah, so when I found out that Lisa has the premiere, first of all, I didn't realize what kind of a premiere. I was like, premiere should be in LA. She's coming to Vegas at the same time. That doesn't make any sense. But then I realized it was a virtual premiere. So I said, Lisa, come to my house, I'll make sure you have great. And she's like, all I need is a great internet. I was like, I have great internet in my house. I'll give you room. I'll have my driver pick you up. But I did not have the direct access to Lisa at that time. So I was communicating through the person who connected us. And that message did not come to Lisa. So she did not get the message that I have a space for her. She comes to the studio. I'm in awe because I know she has a movie premiere in whatever, half an hour, and she's at the studio instead of my house. So I didn't have the space, so I just put her in one of the makeup rooms. And I was like, is that okay? It's just like, that's all I have. Otherwise, it's the main stage and there is a show on it. So Lisa graciously agreed to it. She's like, I don't need it much. I just need a computer. So just the humbleness of this woman is just insane. So she did the premiere. And then after the premiere, I showed her the studio. We connected immediately. She spoke on stage and did her thing, wowed all of us, made us cry, made us laugh. And it was a great presentation. And then afterwards, I said, Lisa, will you come to my house? Because I really want to get to know you, spend some time. And she had another keynote next morning, flying to San Diego. I was like, well, come to my house. We're going to have dinner. We're going to have steaks. We're proud of cooking our steaks. And I said, you have to have it. So, and we'll fly you on our jet tomorrow to San Diego so I can spend a little bit more time with you. And she agreed to come to dinner.
And then at dinner, I did the premiere and it was nice, but it was kind of on this little laptop. And it was a big deal premieres, thousands of people. And it was epic. But I was okay because I wanted to be here. I wanted to spend time with her. I wanted to be a part of the opportunity. And then she said, how did your premiere go? I said, oh, it was good. But it was kind of like, it was good. Thousands of people there, but it was like right in the middle of the keynote. So then with all the guests, she goes, why don't we watch your movie on our outdoor theater? And when I tell you God at work, all of a sudden, all of these beautiful souls are outside and she has an outdoor theater. Like, some of you guys know. And we're all sitting like we're watching, I don't know if some of you guys aren't old enough to know about the drive-in. Some of us do. And it was like we were all sitting at a drive-in theater and I saw my movie on the big screen. And then the most beautiful conversation. And my friend asked me, I chose her before, but I chose her in this moment. She said, may I come to the conversation about cultural differences and about you? May I come to the conversation ignorant? And will you educate me? So I know that we are put together for a reason, and it's much bigger than the content that we teach on this stage. And so I want you to walk away with that. And I'm committed to bridge the gap. And I'm committed to build the bridge. And I'm committed to hold hands with my sisters across cultural lines to show other sisters how to do it.
So I hope this weekend was also one of those
It was.
testimonies of showing what's possible when two girls coming from two different backgrounds, two different skin colors and everything came together, and how much beautiful things that we can create when we come, right? Thanks for allowing me this space and play with you.
Teresa at home wrote divine connection. And Natasha said, God is so good. Thank you, guys. So we couldn't do this by ourselves.
Yeah, we have an amazing team. As you know, Lisa's team with all the coaches were supporting, coming and helping with her program and showing her skill set and everything. And GoPro's network marketing pro staff and Worry Studio staff, all the volunteers who were helping in different Zoom rooms. So we have a little bit of little video that we want to show everybody who helped us to make this event unforgettable.
Thank you to each one of you.
Tumble out of bed and stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition, young distraction, try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood start pumping, out on the street, the traffic starts stopping for folks like me, die from 9 to 5. Working.
So thank you, everybody who helped us to make this event amazing and special. And we have one more special thing.
Special thing. So get ready, because this last piece is designed strictly for you. Now, for those of you who have your phones, you may want to get the little flashlight part ready.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. The little flashlight. You're really smart. You'll know. You'll know. And lights. Just stay still. Don't go anywhere at home. We can drop the lights anytime and bring out our special guest.
What? Let's drop the lights and you and I'll come back. Don't go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. Don't go. We'll start it. This little light of mine, I is shining. This little light of
I, the day shine.
You have a life.
This little light.
You have a unique life.
It's gone.
Your job is to let your light shine.
Letting it shine.
No one can shine your light but you.
Let it shine.
You gotta let your light shine.
Let it shine.
Your light.
Someone's waiting on your life.
You might get scared.
They're waiting on your life.
Get tired.
Even if you get tired.
Bless.
When you speak, people speak.
And you share your stories. People get inspired.
You're gonna help people.
And you feel
It's not going to be
tired. Even yourself. When you speak, people are blessed. Keep shining your light. Light. And you Please feel Right.
grandmother said, even though you can get many things back, all material, the one thing you will never get back is your time. So how you choose to spend it matters. Thank you for trusting. Thank you for trusting me. We hope you made your constant worthwhile.
Love you all. Go out there and do big things.
I love all of you. You look positive. Continue to find your light.
I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you.